welcome back to Rise and Shine. We're just talking about situations and people.
I'm
Now,
from the Tidewater area.
Oh, you are? Where did you live in Tidewater? This is Nancy Bell. May I introduce her? The camera's on her. She is the United Way of Franklin County's leader. We're going to talk United Way. We're going to talk the need for it and the why for it. But now I've found something else. Where were we talking about?
Chesapeake.
Chesapeake. Ah. Family grew up around there? And
I was born in Deep Creek, grew up in Bennett's Creek, and now I live in Snow Creek.
I know
so my
all
handle
three
is
places.
Creek Freak.
I know all three places. Wow. My first really home that I was satisfied with was in Georgetown, in Chesapeake, on Military Highway.
Small world.
Good morning again.
Good morning.
How is the United Way? How are things going? And then would you, kind of let us see what's happening?
Sure.
And then tell us about what we ought to be doing.
All right. Well, things are going great at United Way. We have kind of reinvented ourselves, so there are three of us instead of just a single person shop, so that affords us more opportunities. This fellow over here keeps the road hot. He's our campaign director, so he's out imploring people to have their employees to give them a packet and see if they might be interested in helping a great cause. We have some of the best nonprofits in the region. We have
In the world.
so much to be thankful for, because when you look at things social benchmarks like teen pregnancy and gangs and so forth, our community is above. And that's because of the hard work of the nonprofits who live here. The recession came, they got more clients and more clients and more clients and less resources. So we are here to help them, lift them up, so that they can do what they do and not have to worry about the everyday fundraising.
All right. Let me interrupt you there. You've hit on something that folks do ask. The United Way, they provide funding, they do some good stuff, and you're very close to defining it, and I think that's a neat idea. The purpose of, what is the purpose of, and what does it create for the community? Just the United Way itself.
The purpose is to make the community a better place to live and work and play and raise a family and have generations come up. To do that, we help nonprofits who are very mission specific. Our mission is help everyone do what they do so that they can do it. So we have a variety of different nonprofits that are helping folks who've been incarcerated just coming back to the community, to help people who may have to choose between the light bill and the medicine. These are not lifetime users of the system. These are folks who need a helping hand now and then. And we use citizen review panel comes and tells us which nonprofits deserve our funding. So it's not like we have a party of 6 people around a table who decide who we like and don't like. It's very mission specific. We look at outcomes. How many people did you serve last year? For instance, who would think 5,000 people come through the doors of Amy's Place at the Perinatal Education Center? 5,000 people a year come through there for a variety of reasons, and even more through STEP and through the CASA and the various nonprofits.
At Amy's Place, too, lots of babies come.
Yes,
So,
it's a happy place mostly.
Yeah, isn't that, digressing quickly, isn't that calendar wonderful?
Oh, yes, yes.
Whoa, it's on the front page today.
And I have a tip that next year's calendar is going to be mothers and babies together.
Hold me back.
So people should plan for that.
Wow. Nancy, I'm glad you're here.
I'm glad I'm here too.
You're a ray of sunshine. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
That is neat. All right, so that's the United Way. That's what it's all about. That's what, and I tend to think, the lady took a deep breath and started, And then I cut her off as she took another deep breath. But I can see, we could talk for hours about that. But you've been hanging around him too
Yes,
long, because
indeed.
it's like the mouth of the South, you know. But anyway, the fact is, there's so many things that you hear and you recognize that's an organization that does good things. That's an organization that supports people. That's an organization, I don't even know how they do it or what they do, but but they do good things, and I think it's something that we need to stop and think a little bit, so as to maybe give people a reason to support it if you don't by chance understand what it does. When you were down, when you were hurting, and I venture to say there's very few of us. Yes, there are some people that are very fortunate that have not, but there's a large percentage. You need help. And what a glorious situation when you get the help. And what's the first thing that you think of upon receiving the help is the appreciation, the love, the thankfulness. Then after it kind of mellows a little bit, I got to help somebody, because that was good. Thank you, whoever. So the United Way helped, now you go back. And at this point, it might just be $5, might be $100, whatever you can do. And I know you know what I mean. And Ms. Bell, you have a very good handle on it, and you're very enthusiastic. And that's a scary combination, to understand it and be able to sell it, but that's so neat. Thank you.
My background is in nonprofit management, and I've worked with a lot of nonprofits in Martinsville, Danville, Eden, helping them get funding and get situated.
Do you know Adam?
Which Adam?
His wife was Eve. They were in.
Yes,
Eden?
I know Adam.
Oh, okay. I thought I was going to nail her there. Okay,
I'll tell you.
I know where Eden, North Carolina is, but that's okay.
I'll tell you my nickname. I'm what they call me is a tax-advantaged asset relocator. Andre liked that last week when I told him. I like to help you understand how by giving you also get.
Okay.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. And that's a neat way to put it. I got a tiger by the tail here, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to deal. But very well said. And I tend to think you like what you're doing.
I do.
You love what you're doing.
I do.
You enjoy helping people.
I absolutely do.
And you don't mind making somebody else feel like there is a responsibility for them to help people.
We have a great county, and we need to keep it that way. And we all have skin in the game, and we have to help each other.
Well said. And yet at this moment, you're telling me that we're doing okay.
We're doing okay. We've got a big goal this year, $375,000. But if everybody in the county gave $5, if you break it down to chewable bites, for instance, I give a monthly gift. It goes off my credit card. I don't even think about it. It's easy. Substitute a lunch out a day or a day's pay. There are some people who literally give 10% of their income to United Way. They tithe to United Way. And it's because they can look to United Way and trust United Way to make sure the money is spent frugally and responsibly.
And there's nothing better than being a party to that kind of giving and then having the ability to see that kind of result and to know that it's happening. Many times someone says, I'm giving to an organization that is a national, that is a big, that is a good, that does great things. And we all support that sort of thing. But you can't get your hands around it sometimes.
Right.
This one, You can, and you're most eloquent, and I'm appreciative of the way you put that, because you're also going to hang a guilt trip on them if they don't.
I want people to give because they want to.
Uh.
And I have found in my life, my husband and I started supporting United Way when we were newly married and had a foster child, and all we could afford was $20 a year. But we've given every year since then, and we've added some digits to that along the way because we could, and we did it, and we always got rewarded for it in some way, whether it was obvious or a little less obvious. That whole pay it forward thing is a true dynamic.
Describe pay it forward.
Well, that's when you do something to make another person's life better, to lift someone else. And on the reverse side, someone will come along and do the same for you.
Yep.
It's like paying for coffee for the person behind you in line.
Yep. Hey, this is good. She's all right. We haven't met, have we?
No.
No. But this, I feel very comfortable. That says a lot. I'm a very inclusive person, always have been. Even at this ripe old age, I continue to believe in people and want to gather in, to include. And it's a little bit, there's a little bit of to find a comrade in arms that kind of looks like that is interesting, because that's, you can be exclusive, somebody gets hurt. You're inclusive, somebody gets helped. And we've all had experiences that you don't maybe feel comfortable with, but this is a good experience. So as we talk, and in a moment I'm going to take a commercial break because there's somebody else in the studio that I have but very little choice and must bring him over. When he was a Boy Scout leader, he was, you know, adequate. And but now he's one of my dear friends and a wonderful man that works very hard now, very sincerely on behalf of the United Way, and a good Christian and a wonderful man that I'm going to bring over here also to share in this. But I'm going to work it down so that we got about 30 seconds left. He can't say much. You know, he's sitting over there, Andre, he's sitting over there saying, oh my goodness, did I really get up early for this and come from Salem down to here? You know, so anyway. Nancy, I am very happy to make your acquaintance, and I've heard of you, and everybody tells me the kind of person you are, and you have only made me understand that better. Thank you. We're going to take a commercial break now, and I like red. That's cool. And we'll come back on and we'll talk. We'll conclude today's show by talking with both Andre Perry and Nancy Bell a little bit more about the United Way and how great it is. Amen. Welcome back to Rise and Shine on this Monday, November 18th. This morning, we've talked about a number of things, and we are now speaking to the United Way. We're in the midst of a campaign. We're trying to bring it through, trying to do great things in the community. And as you all know, Mr. Perry has agreed some time back to be a driving force in this effort. And Andre has been involved with a great many of you in his scout career, and you may have seen him when he was in jail. No, I'm only kidding. No,
that was a fundraiser.
Oh, is that what it was? But he's a good friend and very much involved in the United Way. So we're just going to conclude today's show by wrapping it up and talking a little bit about the campaign. You very eloquently brought us up to date on the whys and wherefores, which is always good. And as you, in your preparations, get a few more good thoughts like that, I want you to come back here because they were well stated.
Thank you.
And I want you to say them and say them again and maybe add, be thinking about that.
Okay.
All right. I'm not going to press you today, another time.
Can we talk about ways people can get involved and help?
Would you like to talk about ways? Let me just get a word in from what's-his-face here first.
Well, I'm very happy to have Nancy come
I
on
know
board.
he's happy. Aren't
He's
we
always
glad
happy.
to see him? I'm very happy. Andre, come on, say something a little more.
Oh, you want an esoteric statement? I know.
Hey,
Big
stop
word.
swearing at us. We'll be all right.
Esoteric.
All right, Andre, I'm sorry.
No, I really enjoyed myself sitting over there because I did not realize it was the first time you had met Nancy, but
Actually, we have, you know, you look
well-
at somebody and you've seen somebody,
Right.
and it was here a while back, but it was a quick.
But see, now she is the
history.
focus of attention.
Yes, that's right.
because she has become the new executive director, and we hope that this lasts for many, many years, that she'll guide and lead this organization forward into the future. And that was the whole concept that we started out when I first came on, was I'm here to get the campaign running, but the board continued to look and see where they could find some talent. And I told them they needed to find somebody that really could come into this organization.
Take it to the
and
future.
Take it into the future. And Nancy comes with some great, great skills to be able to do that, because we've done a lot of research on a lot of organizations that were giving to us, and most they were foundations. And we found out that we haven't really been tapping some of those foundations at the levels that we should. So we're working on that, and we're going to get started this year, but I think over the spring and during next year, Nancy's going to make some great headway to help this organization reach a new pinnacle of success in tapping areas that have never been tapped before. So,
All right, I'm going to make a comment, and then we're going to move over and thank you. That's well said. The whys and wherefores and who. I'm glad you're here and now, and I'm glad that you're doing what you do. Yes, I do like your style. Yes, and whatever that may be worth, can't bank it, but it's good. And I made a lifetime work of reading people and dealing and running banks for years, and it's a people business. And
You
you're
give me a line?
yeah.
Girl Scout too.
Yes, I'd give you a loan. Can't argue with the Girl Scouts. But these are great people, folks, and they're working hard on our behalf. And I think to broaden it, to ensure its future, to develop a line of, lack of a better words, a line of donations, because there is a need for dollars, but to develop a method and a style that will take us down the road a bit to more success, as this is a big county. It's a big county for one reason that makes it a bit difficult geographically.
Yeah.
I mean, you try to cover every corner of this county, and you can be on the road for a month and never still hit every place and person that you really feel like you got to talk to about anything you're bringing up. I don't care if it's to donate money or to make money, but so it's a great thing, and I think we've got a wonderful team, and I'm going to turn it back to Nancy now so that we can, you had some other comments that you wanted to make and bring us into, again, how we help and what's going forward. And then I'm going to say, Andre, don't hesitate to step in whenever you.
And he won't hesitate.
I know that, but go ahead. And incidentally, I am very proud to have you both here. This is a heck of a team.
Thank you.
Heck of a team. Where was I in the bank when I needed mouths like you? Oh my goodness. Call it like it is, but you know, folks, these folks don't mind being told they got a mouth. It's their stock and trade. But they're straight, they're Christian, they're honest, and they're working for something that's worthwhile. Think about what I just said, the United Way. Ma'am. You're on.
Okay, instead of using the word donation, let us use the word investment. Because your gift, your donation, your investment will show every day in every way in the community. I challenge everyone in Franklin County this year to buy a Christmas gift for United Way when they're out shopping for their loved ones. Make it a cash donation. Tell us who you want to give it to, if you would like it to go to a particular agency. But just include us in your holiday spending this year. I think you'll be very happy.
A particular amount, or just whatever you can?
Whatever you're comfortable with.
Okay.
It's more important, I think, to engage people and get them to experience that love of giving and what comes from it, and amounts will grow. There are a lot of people in this community already who give to the point where it's almost uncomfortable because they believe in what we do that much.
The amount is great, but at the same time, there are people that are not as well financially off that also give at a much smaller level, but with the same good heart and giving. Isn't that wonderful?
I'll tell you, a lady comes every year with a tube sock full of change, and she ties it around the door anonymously. We caught her one year, Amy caught her one year, and she just, her change throughout the year, puts it in a sock and gives it to United Way. A noble gift.
Noble, good word. Great words. May I say that?
Sure.
Okay, it is. Does it motivate you? Are you alive? It does. I know. I'm teasing, but it is. Those are good words as we near the, unfortunately or fortunately, depending on where you are and what you're doing, we're getting near the end of the year. And we're getting into a season of giving. And this is when the United Way is at its highest level of need as we go into the new year. So, words well spoken. Mr. Perry.
And then there's another way you can give. Say you don't have extra funds right now. You can volunteer. There are people who call the office and they say, well, I don't have money, but I have some time. And if they'd like to volunteer, we have lots of agencies and lots of organizations that need help. So here again, we're asking you to give something of yourself. If it happens to be money, that'll work. If it happens to be time and just volunteer. In both cases, as Nancy has explained very well, in both cases, you will be as fulfilled as the people you are helping.
It's a good point. Makes you feel good. I mean, you know, you'll be fulfilled. Listen to him. You'll feel good, you know? You will feel good. And, you know, you always do. All right, continue. If you finish, that's fine, but if you haven't, you're on
I'm never finished.
How did I know that? How did I know that?
Let me turn the coin over. Suppose you're the kind of person that the feel-good stuff doesn't do anything for you.
All right.
We did some research and found out that almost 10% of the workforce in Franklin County is nonprofit. Now, what does that mean? If you listen to the Congress and the House of Representatives, and some of us do and some of us don't, but what they're saying is small business are the key to economic recovery on the long term. They're small businesses. They have payrolls. Their employees go out to eat locally. They buy paper and computers and telephone service, and they pay rent. So investing in what these agencies do is also investing in the economy. Mm-hmm. You might not think about it that way, but there's another reason to help them. Some of these agencies still have the old cement-colored computers, and several of our executive directors work for zero. Mm-hmm. Not that we want to raise money to pay them or buy them new computers necessarily, but they can only serve folks to their maximum effectiveness if they have the tools and time they need. That's where the volunteers come in, that's where the donations come in. And did you know the IRS recognizes an hour of volunteer time somewhere in the neighborhood of $24? That's real value, $24 an hour.
Did you know that, ladies and gentlemen? And there's a method by which you can take credit for that?
As well as your cash donation.
Interesting.
And then you have these service organizations that we've been talking about, the great service organizations. We collect information about how many people they serve. When you think of over 21,000 people served in this county, when you only have 56,000 people to begin with, the service organizations are just doing a fantastic job. And I love to talk about the fire and rescue and EMT because I just felt like coming into this year, and I felt this even as a Boy Scout, that they were some of the most unappreciated folks in the county who do a critical, and I say critical job because they show up when we are in a critical situation.
So then you might say that all 56,000 residents of Franklin County in some way benefit from these services.
I don't think there's any doubt that you should say that because that's exactly where it comes home. Because the first time you would suggest, or I almost said, but I will say, you dare to think otherwise, there but by the grace of God go I.
Yes.
And you need help. And that's exactly where it comes up. Okay, well, we're not, I don't think anybody's sitting here putting a guilt trip on you. I don't think they feel that way. I don't feel that way. You do what you do. And your free will. But this is a worthwhile, good, and I think probably what I'm hearing says, have you thought of this recently? Let me give you a good reason. Let me tell you about something. Now, we're going to get them on again. What did it say in the books? You gird your loins, you get prepared. Yes, I'm going to get them on again. But I think that would be a good thing to be brought up to date and talk a little bit more. And but necessary that since Nancy has not been the director of the United Way for long, and as someone that's been around the community for a long time and in the business of doing things like this, but not directly with the United Way, of course, and now she is, you needed to meet her, you need to see it, you need to listen. You like it, huh? She's a keeper. I'm telling you. Andre, well, we never mind.
Here today, gone tomorrow.
He's a good man doing a great job in life. And that's the way it's done in Franklin County. So I'm very grateful. Give you both the last word for today, if you'll promise to come back.
Sure.
And
We'll
keep
be
us
back
up to
every
date. Sounds like a threat. Andre,
Yes,
what
sir.
else do you have to say? And I know you have something.
Well, I'd like to say that we are so appreciative of the people that have helped us so far. This campaign shot off like a rocket, and the rocket is still heading towards a very good destination. And to complete the mission, though, we, as Nancy has said, and as you have really very profoundly said, we would like people to just take a little bit of whatever they have, share it with the United Way, and we'll promise you that we'll give it back to the community, and that it'll be it'll develop and grow tenfold.
True statement.
Yeah, sounds biblical, doesn't it?
Lots of ways to give.
Esoteric.
Lots of ways to give on our website. Send it cash in an envelope. Drop by the office, see what we do, visit with us.
Do you know where the office is, ladies and gentlemen? Would you like to know where the office is? And if you don't know, you're about to find out. How does one participate with the United Way? One, let's think about how do you want to work on behalf of it, very specifically. Where do you go? Who do you call? And just give us a little bit of that, and then we'll kind of conclude. But go ahead.
All right. We have a website, fcunitedway.org, has a little PayPal button on there. Everyone knows what that is and how it works. You can help us that way, or by sending a check in. We're P.O. Box 446 in Rocky Mount, or come by the office. We love it when people come by the office. It's a nice place. It's a good feeling place. And that's 335 South Main in Amy Pendleton's building, just adjacent to the hospital, very conveniently located downtown. Uptown, do we call it uptown?
Uptown.
Yeah, uptown.
That's uptown.
Uptown.
That's all
And,
right.
or
It's
give
just
us a call and we'll convince you by telephone to help us. If you still need convincing, we'll be happy to spend a few minutes
Yep.
and telling you, showing you the agencies. If there's one in particular you want your gift to go to, we can do that also.
And
Which
we,
is another nice thing that you can kind of earmark if
That's
you
right.
wish.
and we have a Facebook page.
Yes.
If you want a little more closer view of what we're doing, all the interviews that we've had, that this station so graciously has provided for us the opportunity to talk to the directors, and you know most everybody that's a director of these organizations. All those videos that we've taken, and except for a couple few, and I'm putting them up, are now on our Facebook page as a link, and they're also on the website now as a link to the information about each of our organizations. So we continue to utilize the power of this media, of our print organizations like the Franklin News Post, the Eagle, the Laker Magazine, have all been tremendous in helping us promote anything that we are pursuing. We've just had a great support from this Franklin County community, and we thank all of our Franklin community partners.
Keep it up, folks. Keep it up. I don't understand Facebook. I don't use Facebook, and I never will. But I've got 5-year-old grandchildren or great-grandchildren that just
Love it.
their eyeballs roll and they shake their head and say,
You may be on there and not know it.
I am sure I am, because people tell me.
He's all over YouTube, I tell you that.
And but what I don't know won't hurt me. So there you go.
Okay.
But yeah, check the weather, get the ball scored. Do I still have money in the bank? And has anybody sent me an email? That's my middle name. I don't go past that. And that's pretty much D and I. D can deal with it better than my wife. But that's another story.
Aren't you keeping track of your kids on Facebook? I know D is probably.
To my knowledge, what they believe I don't know won't hurt me.
Okay, I understand.
No, I don't do that. I'm not happy with it, proud of it, or like it or dislike it. It's just a choice I've made.
Right,
and,
sure.
And
Yeah.
who needs it?
We're not doing Twitter.
Very, very much old-fashioned, and if you want to talk to me, you got to call me or come see me. You can write me a letter. People say, "What's that?"
Really?
Thank you very much for being here. We are, going into wide area, but I hope you understand these are very real folks.
Excuse me.
Certainly, God bless you. They're very real folks doing a very real and good job on behalf of our community. And it's good that you see them. It's good that you know how sincere they are and what it's resulting in. And I'll ask one more question. The campaign is okay and going forward.
We are ahead of goal, but there's still a long way to go. 375,000 is a big number, but Franklin County can do it.
There's your comment. What a great pleasure to have Andre and Nancy here to stir you, to give you a reason. Sometimes you might need a reason. You might not understand it, but I think you all know what the United Way does. Just looking at it. Don't want to make it wrong. But it's a very worthwhile thing, and there are so many people and organizations that benefit more than you have any idea. If you sit down and start listing, you'd be writing still next week. So it's a great thing, and at this point in our economic time as a place and country and situation, there are needs, so here's your opportunity. Okay? So we will talk about it again and possibly again. So be prepared. It's been wonderful to be with you. Thank you both for being here.
Thank
so
you.
Nice to sit and talk with you.
Thank you.
My goodness, Nancy, I'm glad to get to know you and understand what's going on. And you've done an outstanding job. And Andre, thank you, my dear friend, for being here. One of the greatest compliment I can give anybody, a good guy. When I was growing up, if he was a good guy, he was okay. He's one. All right, that's it. Remember, come home to a Franklin County Christmas, and it's on the headlines of today's paper. Big doings in town on the 5th and the 6th, excuse me, and the parade will be at 5:20. And all these good people in this picture, if you see them, tell them thank you. They spread from the lake to Ferrum to all over the county. They're people that care about where we live and what's going on. Franklin County Christmas. Come home to a Franklin County Christmas. 10, 11 years. I remember when it started. And yes, I was there. And it was, who'd have thunk it? But it's still going strong. Thank you for paying attention this morning. Thank you for being with us and for supporting Cable 12. So many good things going on around Franklin County and all the people that are working on behalf of everything. Just keep after it. And if all goes well, I will see you again next time, and God bless.
And I say, hey, by the way, are you going my way, Franklin County? And I say, hey, by the way, are you going my way to Franklin County?